You are now listening to the Pelicans postgame report. Flash report.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Shout out to PPR, Big Q, DC for bringing me on as a contributor and being a part of this team. I appreciate you guys. I truly do, for just seeing the value of what I bring to the table. I am Lexxah Drew. And let me tell y'all, I love the game of basketball. I played it, coached it, officiated this game at a high school, college, and semi-professional level. So it truly is an honor to share my knowledge of this game. Let's get to it. And real quick, kudos to all the listeners. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stick with me, bear with me. This is my first time doing this type of stuff, so it's pretty new, but it's exciting, and I think it'll be fun. So here we go. So the topic I'm going to speak on is the new offensive roles. One thing that I want to point out is that I was not really a fan of the message about the new offense. Obviously, we know that Willie Green came out and said, talked about Zion playing the 5. They're going to put the ball in B.I.'s hands and let him run point. I don't know. The way everything was phrased that it came across is that basically this is going to be the B.I. show. Like, we're going to let him run things and just go through him. I think it was to suit and maximize, obviously his playmaking skills and passing skills and, things like that, which is cool. I wouldn't say that B.I. is an elite playmaker. Obviously, he does do it pretty solid. I don't knock that. But one thing that I thought about is that what do we learn about B.I. and FIBA? Regardless of what anybody thinks, okay? Regardless of what anybody thinks on how B.I. was used in FIBA or anything, we know that B.I. was hot garbage, as Deion Sanders would put it. He was. He didn't have any type of impact, any type of imprint, or impose his will on the game at all. But one thing I will say is that even though a lot of people were saying, B.I., he wasn't used correctly. Regardless of that, people, you can still be impactful. I mean, the rest of the team was impactful. And one thing that I got out of that is that B.I., he kind of struggles playing off ball. That is not a strong suit of his. He wasn't successful. And so coming into the season, obviously we saw what he did at the end of the season on last season with the Pelicans. And they're saying, hey, you know what? We're going to put that ball in your hands. We're going to allow you to playmate. We're going to allow you to, to just take control of the offense and dictate what happens and do the pick and roll that way. Let me be clear. B.I. was playing some of the best basketball of his career at the end of the season last season. The dude's a baller. He's a hooper. Don't get it twisted. We know what B.I. can do. When he's locked in, he's loaded, he's in shape, and he's getting it. Let's not forget, people. Like, Zion is a juggernaut. Just the way that they put this whole thing, it just didn't sit well with me. It was like, okay, well, why is there so much emphasis on B.I.? Even with James Borrego, I don't know if you all have noticed, but I haven't heard any type of communication between Borrego and Zion. I've heard that Borrego has talked to CJ, Borrego has talked to B.I., but you haven't heard that, like verbatim from Willie Green or anybody. And we all know the traction and the gravity that Zion brings. Point Zion works. We saw that in the month of December when he helped lead the team to the number 1 seed before he got hurt. And I'm not saying that Zion can't play the 5, because it's not so much with Zion as far as having playing a position. He's a basketball player. The dude can play anywhere. He's a basketball player. He makes basketball plays. It doesn't matter what position you put Zion in. He's going to flourish. He can flourish off ball, on ball, whatever it is. Zion can do that. You know, and that's what makes him a superstar. That's what makes him a great player. And clearly, I think we learned that, you know, all these comparisons as far as BI being compared to Kevin Durant, I think the FIBA play kind of squashed that, because we have seen Kevin Durant play in different positions and on different teams, and KD still plays like KD. That's the difference between being that great player and not being that great player. Okay, and that's nothing against BI, because BI is a good player. So I hope I'm being clear on that. We want BI and Zion to work. We need them to work. We need them to be available. We need them to do their thing on that court. We need them to do that pick and roll. I just think the way things were worded, they could have been worded a whole lot better, especially when they pointed out Zion at the 5, Zion at the 5, Zion at the 5. It was like, come on, people. Zion is 6'6", 6'7", around the same height as Michael Jordan. Okay? Stan Van Gundy said that Zion's future is point Zion for longevity purposes. We'll definitely see what happens during preseason. Now, one thing that I wish there was more emphasis on the rebounding. How will we utilize Jonas? Jonas did his thing during FIBA. The same with Cody Zeller. How will we utilize him? I think those are things that we struggled with on last season and that we can definitely improve upon. And clearly, I think we were around, 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there, somewhere in the middle. Not too bad, but in order for the Pelicans to really make a jump, got to get rebounds. Rebounds means possessions. But I'm looking at front courts around the league, and they're stacked, long, and lengthy. You look at Memphis, they have Steven Adams and Triple J. The Lakers, AD, Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura. You got the T-Wolves, they got Cat and Gobert. Jazz, they got Markkanen and Walker Kessler, John Collins, Kelly Olynyk. You look at the Cavs, they got Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. The Portland recently acquired Robert Williams and DeAndre Ayton. You got the Bucks, who were number 1 in rebounding. They have the Lopez brothers and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then you have Dallas. They didn't do so great in the rebounding, but they did beef up their front court with getting Derek Lively, Powell, obviously already there, and Kleber. And those are just a few teams. These front courts are stacked. And I'm not saying that Zion can't throw down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that at all. But all I'm saying is that these front courts, hey man, they are beefing up, and you can call it the Zion effect. You could call it that. But as far as playing that 5, I don't think that was it was just phrased the wrong way. I think you should have went in a different direction. You know, we're gonna put Zion in different areas. We're gonna really put Zion and BI, put them in the pick and roll. I think it should have been phrased that way instead of just be like, oh, we're going to put the ball in BI's hands. We're going to let him run things, do his thing, all that good stuff, and put Zion at the 5. Now, since then, I think they've elaborated a little bit on it, to, I guess, keep the scare factor down. Because we all know that when the ball's in Zion's hands, great things happen. And so that's all I'm saying. In closing, we're going to see in regular season. We're going to see. All this is going to come to light on how this is going to work out. I expect Zion to be unguardable on the court. All jokes aside. We're going to keep this thing, positive as far as him being available this season, because it's a new season. And I do want to point out, in the first few seasons with Steph Curry and Joel Embiid, hey man, they missed their first 5 seasons. And you know what? Look at them. Steph Curry is a 4-time champion, and Joel Embiid just won the MVP of regular season. Hey, who says that can't happen to Zion? Let's go, baby. Let's turn this thing around and prove all the doubters wrong. With BI, I don't think this was talked about enough. I love to see him take a jump in the 3-point shooting. And with CJ, playing off screens, weak side, spot up shooting, being true to the two, because that's what it is. You feel me? Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below. I am Lexxah Drew, and I'm out, y'all.
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all things New Orleans Pelicans.